So what exactly is SATCOM? SATCOM stands for Satellite Communications, and it refers to any form of communication that uses satellites orbiting the Earth to transmit signals. This includes voice, video, data, anything that needs to travel from one place to another, often over long distances where traditional infrastructure doesn't exist. Think of remote oil rigs, ships in the middle of the ocean, airplanes, military bases in isolated regions, or rural communities with no cable or fiber coverage. SATCOM makes communication possible in all those places. But it's not just for emergencies or remote areas. Satellite communications are also being used today to back up critical infrastructure, to extend cellular networks, and to support emerging technologies like autonomous shipping, drone fleets, and even space-based IoT. At its core, satellite communication works like a mirror in the sky. Satellites receive signals from one point on Earth and retransmit them to another, enabling communication across long distances. Because of their position high above the Earth, satellites can cover extremely wide areas, often entire countries or even continents, making them ideal for connecting remote or hard-to-reach locations where laying fiber isn't practical. We're also entering a new era of SATCOM, with the rise of LEO constellations like Starlink, OneWeb, and Kuiper. These systems use hundreds or thousands of low Earth satellites to deliver faster, lower latency coverage worldwide. This new generation of networks unlocks exciting use cases like autonomous transport, IoT, and private satellite networks for enterprise and government use. The satellite communications sector has experienced accelerated growth in recent years. Over 50% of all active satellites in orbit today were launched within the past 4 years, marking the most rapid deployment phase in history. According to multiple industry forecasts, the global space economy is expected to reach $1 trillion by 2030, driven in part by the expansion of satellite-based services. This growth is reflected in the labor market. Demand for SATCOM professionals is increasing at an estimated rate of 30% annually. However, most roles in the field require specialized knowledge. In fact, around 85% of SATCOM-related job postings list specific technical skills or prior training as essential. While opportunities exist across multiple domains, from RF engineering to network operations, access to these roles typically depends on having the appropriate foundation and credentials. But beyond business growth, there's a critical global issue at play. Billions of people around the world still lack reliable access to the internet. Not because of affordability, but because of geography. In many rural, remote, or underserved areas, laying fiber or building cellular towers simply isn't practical. Satellite is the only viable way to reach 100% of the planet's surface. That's why governments, NGOs, and private companies are investing heavily in satellite infrastructure, and why skilled professionals are needed more than ever to support and expand these networks. If you search for any of these topics online, you'll find the same message repeated everywhere. SATCOM is not just growing, it's becoming essential. Across industry reports, market forecasts, and global news, the message is clear. Satellite communications is one of the fastest growing and most impactful sectors today. And when some of the biggest names in tech, aerospace, and e-commerce are investing heavily in SATCOM infrastructure, that tells you something. This is no longer a niche field. It's becoming part of the global digital backbone. This rising demand creates an urgent need for trained professionals, from engineers to project managers. And that's exactly what we're here to help you explore. In this course, our goal is twofold. First, to help you decide if this industry is a good fit for your skills and interests. And second, if it is, to give you practical tips and guidance to land your first job in satellite communications.